Okay. Hi, everybody. This is Julissa. Thank you so much for coming to my channel and the podcast. It is Saturday, April 29, 2023, guys. The month of April is basically gone. Just one more day and then that's it, right? So I just wanted to come here real quick and give you an update about the disappearance of Ana Walshe. In case you guys don't remember her, but in the beginning of the year, I came here and made an episode on the podcast and made a couple multiple videos here on the YouTube channel regarding the disappearance of a mom of three from Cohasset, Massachusetts. She left her house the early mornings of January the 1st, 2023. She was on her way to Washington, D.C., apparently for a work emergency, and this mom of three, Ana Walshe, didn't have any contact with her husband, Brian Walsh. There was no, she left apparently at 3, 4 in the morning to go to the airport, and there was no back and forth text messages or calls between her and her husband saying, "Hey, did you get to the airport safe? Did you board your flights? Everything okay?" I think, you know, that will be like a normal conversation for anyone to have with their spouse, especially if they're living on a day which is the day after a lot of people go drinking, right, to celebrate the new year. Um, Going to the airport early hours in the morning and there's no back and forth communication. I thought that was very weird. But as you guys know, if you guys follow my channel or the podcast, you guys know that the biggest slap in the face that we received from Brian Walsh about this case was um, when he came out of the prison in the police prison, and he was fully smiling, complete disregard of what the situation was. You have the mother of your three young kids, right? I think they are very young, between ages three young kids between the ages 1 and 5, right? That's very young. Their mom is disappeared. You are in jail, and when you come out, there's a bunch of reporters and TV cameras waiting for you, and you come out with handcuffs on, smiling for the press. I will never forget what I felt that day, guys. I think I was at the studio when I first saw that, and I was like, I gotta see it. I gotta talk about it because I hope I'm not the only one who sees this. It was basically a slap in the face to see this man come out smiling, um, complete disregard. And then what we learned after that was also shocking. But I think that smiling in the way he came out like that basically sealed the deal, like, oh, we know he's involved, of course, right? So then he was arrested. He was brought to court, and we learned about the Google searches, right? Anna Walsh worked in Washington, D.C., and was in the process of selling access, her condo, cars, and things like that, where she was based in Massachusetts, with her husband Brian, to basically move to Washington, D.C. to work there. Unfortunately for Brian, he couldn't leave the state because he was under house arrest for another case that he was involved about selling fake paintings, right? So he is a criminal in his own, history. He had a bad history with his family. One thing I gotta say, I've never been married, right? But people always say, when you're looking for, you're trying to get to know somebody to see if this is the spouse, that God wants you to have. Always look at how they are with their family, right? That's such a deal breaker too. You have to see how they behave with their family. I understand there's a lot of people who have difficulty to relationship with their families, right? There are people who have been hurt in the past and they have difficult situations, right? Let's just say, but when you see somebody who his dad passed away and completely cut him off out of the will, and this man took the will and broke it and basically took over the dad's possession, that's some red flags right there. Not only that, I'm not trying to blame Anna, nothing like that. But all I'm saying is that then you see, one thing I say over and over, guys, when people threaten you for for something, yes, we are to forgive other ones, but that's the first sign, because when people get into that point, when they're threatening your life to the point that they might say to you, I want to kill you or whatever, right? I want to hurt you in some type of way. Like, that's the same thing that happened with Jennifer Dulos, another mom from Connecticut who disappeared, who has never been found. When they threaten you, we, in our human kindness, I guess you can say, we're like, they just say it out of anger. Let me tell you something. When people are angry, that's when you get to see who they really are. So if somebody says to you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna harm you in some type of way, if somebody's joking about something like that, first of all, they probably will not use that term, and second of all, they'll be like, I'm just playing with you immediately, because they don't want you to think that they will do something like that. But when people get to a point where they're angry with you, to the point that they threaten you to hurt you physically in some type of way, there it's gonna happen. Unfortunately, that will happen. And Brian Walsh, that's the reason that I'm talking about this. Brian Walsh said that to Anna in 2014 when they were dating. Who would have thought? Maybe she never even would have imagined that this man would hurt her in some type of way. Okay, but you guys know, I guess, if you're looking at this podcast, I mean, at this video, or listening in the podcast, you know her story a little bit already. So I'm giving you an update. Okay, I'm sorry. My mind went just blank right now, but I'm giving you an update of what happened last week. Brian Walsh was brought to court. He was officially indicted on the murder of Ana Walsh, right? So there's an update. I'm gonna read this article to you guys because it's quite interesting now. This man, I'm gonna see if I can post a photo here on the YouTube channel so you guys can see it. So if you're listening on the podcast, go ahead and visit JulissaDesigns YouTube channel so you can see the photos that I'm talking about. He apparently looks like he lost a lot of weight already, being in jail since January. It's gonna be 4 months in jail. He lost a lot of weight already. This man asked for bail. The bail was denied. There's no way he's going anywhere. The sad thing about this whole case is the three kids who now don't have a mom or a dad, basically don't know what happened, and just basically are left in the limbo. So you have to pray for the kids, okay? So let me read you guys what happened as we learn more about the disappearance of Ana Walsh from Cohasset, Massachusetts. It says here, Brian Walsh, the Massachusetts man accused of killing his wife in January, hired a private investigator to follow her in the days before the murder because he suspected she was having an affair, the prosecutor said on Thursday when he was in court. He hired a private detective, right? He said that because of his mom, right? His mom basically said, get a private detective, right? When people get to that point already like seek out some type of investigator to follow a loved one because you don't trust them already, they must have been already a lot of signs that he saw that he felt needed to have talks with his mom about it, right? Because people say, well, it was the mom who suggested it. Yeah, but why would the mom suggest it, right? This woman apparently sick. He said, I'm the only thing that my mom has. She's an elderly woman, so she's not going to go and track down Ana Walsh's social media whereabouts from her company page, nothing like that. She said that because she saw her son being concerned about what's happening with his wife. She has a new life in Washington, D.C. She goes there for work, comes back on the weekends to spend time with the family. Some weekends she cannot even make it home because of work related meetings, whatever it could be, weather also. So obviously, he is going to be suspicious, right? He's left home with the kids, right? And to be honest, yeah, it makes perfect sense, right? But it was all his plan. He just wanted to hear from his mom. So now that the mom agreed, he hired a private detective. And having a private detective already on Anna, why there's no other information about what that private detective was able to find, right? She was very close with one of the co-workers. You can see it on her social media page. This woman in some of the photos looks like she was a single mom, right? Because of the photos that she posted. Not all of them, right? And people post what they want to post. I mean, I always, can never go by what people see on social media because people are just, they're playing the game. I feel like on Instagram specifically, we're all just playing the game in the sense that we're gonna post everything that's edited. Like for me, I make a lot of videos. I do a lot of Bible verses and things like that. It's a lot of takes that I do before I post the final. It's a lot of music trying that I do. So yeah, it's very edited, right? I think Instagram is very edited. We're gonna show you the good times, right? The perfect videos, as much perfect as we can get. So you can never go by what people post on social media thinking that that is the reality. I've been on social media for so long. I'm just being honest here. I would never post the days that I had like no sales in my store. Why would I post something like that, right? You pick and choose what you want people to see. That's just being honest, right? So Brian Walsh was concerned that Anna was having an affair. And he said it was my mom who made me hire the private detective. Of course, it's never him, right? He has nothing to do with anything, right? But anyways, it says here that a grand jury indicted Walsh last month for the murder of his wife, misleading a police investigation, obstruction of justice, and for improper conveyance of a human body. While Ana Walshe, this is what's so shocking about this case, guys. While Ana Walshe was decorating bedrooms in her home in Washington, D.C., decorating the bedrooms for her kids to come and live with her over there because the dad is a criminal, so he had to stay in Massachusetts. So she was going to move ahead with them first. This meant that dad was planning her murder, right? And people like his lawyer was saying in court, she was saying in court, yeah, he bought a lot of cleaning supplies, but there's some of the cleaning supplies in the garage. He never used some of them. People are just going off by what the Google searches are. Yes, when people are planning to do something, rest assured they're gonna Google stuff. I mean, I just got, so crazy. To be honest, like I just got two monitors for no two products from my new job that I started. And you think I'm gonna look at manuals? I don't read. I don't like to read and like I like to see somebody actually doing it. So for me to connect the new computers, I had to go here on YouTube, right? See if somebody already made a video about unboxing and connecting this new monitor to their laptop, and that's how I was able to do it. So I think Google searches are very important these days. Any question that we might have, anything that we're looking for in that moment, we're going to Google search. It's just how society is these days, okay? So yeah, the Google searches are definitely incriminating Brian Walsh. He has, just based on Google searches alone, that this man was planning the future without Anna, just with her money and her kids, and that's it. And it's so sad because while he was doing that, she was planning their life together in DC. Could she have? They say that eventually they found out that she was having an affair, and this is what I heard, this man said that they spent Thanksgiving together in Dublin. So I know she's not actually from here. I forgot exactly where she was born. So it wasn't that co-worker that she was always together with him, he's actually married, right? But she apparently was having an affair with some other man from Dublin, and he came forward and said that, yeah, they were having an affair. So what about, look at this other motive, right? Look at this other motive that Brian Walsh had to make her disappear, right, without a trace. And it's so sad because this man is still, when they're reading his Google searches in court, he's still shaking his head like it wasn't him, or like he had nothing to do with it. He's a very dumb criminal. That's the other thing. This man used his son's laptop, saying that he lost his phone and that he's been using his son's laptop to do all these searches, thinking that the police are not going to check every device available in the home. Hello, like, are you kidding me? And then this man was also, there's a lot of surveillance photos of him buying cleaning supplies, $150 of cleaning supplies, I think it was. And then he's buying he's seen at a juice shop like the day after she disappeared. Completely, his body language was giving him away completely. He's looking loud everywhere. It's almost like when you're driving down the highway and you're going the normal limit, but the minute you see a cop, you think they're after you, and you lower your speed even though you have done nothing wrong. This man was looking so suspicious in that juice bar, looking around, checking to make sure like nobody's looking at him. He's so nervous. I mean, they found the rug rolled up, okay, in a trash can. He went to see his mom, but he spent like 30 minutes in the trash can in the back of the apartment building where his mom is. He's buying all the cleaning supplies. He's saying how what's the best day to divorce. He's Googling all these searches about, it's so demonic, the searches, searching how long does it take to smell the body, how long, does it, listen, the other thing he searched is so crazy. I just learned about this. I think he went to Home Depot. He said one of the Google searches is like he doesn't even need to talk anymore. Like by his Google searches, he is incriminating himself 100%. And now coming out and saying that there is a private detector, and what the private detector found on Ana. Yeah, that is your motive. She was having an affair, okay? This man searched, how long does Home Depot keeps their surveillance video? Are you kidding me, dude? Like, it's so crazy. And then his lawyer is saying to the judge, I saw the video, his lawyer is saying, Anna was barely home. She worked in a different state, and some weekends will not even come. This man was only the caretaker for the kids. So what does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say? That's gonna excuse him and be like, the judge be like, oh yeah, we will feel bad for you. Go back home to your kids, man. Sir, you didn't do anything wrong, right? Searching how does body dissolve in this type of solution, and does this, like, so much demonic searches, completely disregard for human life. What a slap in the face was to see this man come out and smiling for everybody when your wife is missing. Your wife left your home at 3 in the morning, according to you, to go to Logan Airport on a taxi that you're not even texting back and forth and saying, oh yeah, I took her out to the taxi and made sure she got in the car safely, and so, like the license plates, and I told her to send me a screenshot or something of the car that she was getting into. There's no back and forth texting. Yeah, she never left the house in a taxi. That never happened. She never got called because of a work emergency. He knows exactly what happened to her. Okay, it's so sad that he still wants to make people believe that he's involved. And finding out about this affair that she apparently had when they had a guest, New Year's Eve, they had one of her ex co-workers with them, and he's saying everything was fine. The dinner was fine. Brian cooked dinner for us. We had such a great time during that evening. One of the kids came down and he socialized a little bit with them and then went back up to bed. She was sitting next to me. This is what the man said. She was sitting next to me. We had such a great time. And, I left. He said he left around 1 a.m. It's so sad because after that time, the whole thing came apart. Anna's life came undone after that man left the house because she called her mom multiple times saying, "Can you get here the next day?" They probably just, they celebrated the new year. It's already 2023. She's saying it's going to be the best year. I don't think, guys, to be honest, because of how well together they were that night, I don't think that Anna was showing him that at all, right? That her plan was to divorce him, nothing like that. She basically went along with the whole thing. They're selling the condo for cash immediately, right? Because even the tenants came out saying, they promised the condo to us and they sold it because somebody else offered, gave them a better offer. When they're selling something fast and they're saying, here's the cash, we're already approved, let's go. Like, they're gonna take it and jump, right? So Brian signed the papers too of that condo. So they're selling cars, they're selling the condos. She's basically shedding every door. You know what was left? The kids. Anna was ready to bring the kids home with her, and Brian was not able to go because of his own problem with the law. Okay, and this man saw his life basically disappearing. What is his motive when this man doesn't work, right? He's not allowed to work. He's a criminal. He's being trapped because of, by the court because of what he did selling fake paintings. His dad take him out of the will, right? He's basically wakes up every day to take care of the kids. And now Anna, he already knows she's having an affair, bought a new home in DC, is taking the kids with her. Of course he's going to disagree to do that because you basically, he probably felt that he was being left with nothing, right? And at the end of the day, it's all his fault because of his criminal case. He probably, would end up in jail. That was one thing that one of Anna's friend said, that she had a conversation with her in DC. They were eating at a restaurant. She became so upset. She said, Anna became so upset. And I said, what's going on? She said, I think Brian is going to get arrested. Look at this. Look where he is now. And she wasn't even talking about anything else because of the case about the fake painting. It's almost like she had this feeling already that something bad was coming for him. And when your life, let me tell you something, and I think everybody can relate to this. When you doing your thing, right? When you're doing your thing and everything seems to be going, you're like, man, I'm doing great at work. I love my team. I just bought a new home in DC. Everything's great. The last thing you want is somebody to bring you down, especially somebody who already has a bad criminal case with you. So you're like, man, if my life, like, I just want to be with my kids. I don't want them, anything can happen. He can go to jail. I might as well just start bringing my kids to DC and have them, already, you know, go to school here. It's a new year, brand new beginning, and let Brian deal with his issue that he created for himself, right? So that conversation probably that happened after this guest left her house that day, January 1st, was basically, I'm taking the kids. You have to deal with your legal troubles. And then Brian comes back and say, look at what my private investigator found on you. You think this man was gonna be like, fine, I want a divorce. Get out of my, take the kids, do whatever you want. I don't want to be with you anymore. he sees her growing up, getting better and better at the things that she does, doing so well for herself. She's the main breadwinner, doesn't have any issues with the law. She's a young mom and bought a new house. And you think he's people who have issues, the last thing they want to do is somebody else raising, especially if they're close, right? Um, so there there was probably a big discussion that happened right after that gets left around 1 a.m. on January the 1st of 2023. After that man left the house of Ana and Brian Walsh, everything became undone. And her mom said that she tried to call her 3 times, testing her, can you please get on the flight and be here? And basically say, Brian and I cannot agree on the kids. Of course, you know, of course they're not going to agree on the kids because he sees it as you taking away his basically reason to get up, I guess, right? And now that he knows about the affair, that's also another trigger for him. And I think that probably pushed him to the edge. And look at where we are now. This man is so guilty. I don't think, it was so crazy because he's asking the judge for bail to be set at this, probably something that he can afford. And bail was denied. They're going to go back in court in August. And, the kids are with the state basically. And it's so sad because it's so sad that people, I'm looking at his photo, that's why I'm looking down. This man thinks that he can just, take somebody's life, do 3 million searches about how to dispose a body, and think that the judge is going to be like, oh yeah, go home to your kids, go cash on that, life insurance from Anna and live your happy life. How do you live with yourself? Well, I guess he's going to have all the time in the world now to think about that. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. And please keep this family in your prayers. And also pray for Brian because I really hope that in jail he is able to find God. That somebody will give this man a Bible and he's able to have an encounter with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back and subscribing and listening in the podcast. God bless.